like that, but I don't know. It's still that little, oh my God, something's that, like maybe I'm gonna go, I don't know if there is a hell, but maybe I'm not gonna have, like, I don't know. I just think about all those things. So,
do you want my perspective on it?
Yeah, I really do. Mm-hmm.
So I said to Tamika, take what works for you and leave the rest. You don't have to believe what I believe. Everybody has to find their own path.
Okay.
I think all paths lead to the same God. To me. Right. I think it's just one God.
Right.
And I think that all paths lead to him, because it's just the truth don't need no help. Okay. Quite honestly. Mm-hmm. Don't need no help.
Right.
It just is. I think man makes it very complicated by putting a lot of religion around it. Okay. I'm not anti-religion. I think religion is suitable for people.
Right.
I'm much more spiritual than I am religious, even though I have a church.
Right.
I go to. But it's less dogma. It's not dogma like punishment and fire and brimstone. It's not like that. Okay. It's more like having this relationship with your higher power that's loving and supportive. And, I'm really blessed because my mother sort of reared us in that way. So I don't have as many of the hangups as other people have, that have grown up in very, very traditional, hard, But this is so for me, what I believe is God, it's only you and God.
Right. Okay.
Throughout this whole life.
Right.
There's nobody who is going to be with you for your whole life.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
There is no one who will be with you your whole life. Short of your parents dying before you do, no one is going to be with you your whole life. So that says that the only person that's going to be with you is you.
Right.
So one, you better have a good relationship with her.
Right.
And then number two, since now I understand that I have this part of me that is, all of it has come from God. But when I think about the spirit, as I've tried to understand her better, understand that aspect of me better, right? Then I'm like, if I've come from God, then that gives me the opportunity to have this closer connection with the entity that I call my higher power. I'm a part of it. I'm a spark of it.
Right.
You take an apple, like that's what I'm eating now. If I take the slice of this apple, isn't this still an apple?
Yeah.
So if I look at this as myself, and this other apple as Tamika, and this other one as Sanit, it's still an apple.
Right.
It still come from the source that created everything, right?
Okay, I like that.
Mm-hmm. And so, so I must possess whatever it is that God possesses. I must possess that too, because I come from it.
Right.
You come from your mom and your daddy, you getting
right
color, hair texture, whatever, size, shape, whatever is in them, you're getting it.
Right. That makes sense.
So to me, that was very simple for me to understand, and that made sense to me.
Right.
And then one of the things, remember I told you all about the 7 belief systems, like I am what I have, I am what I look like, I am what I do, all that. And remember the last one, the 7th one, is that I am separate and apart from my higher power. The 6th one is I'm separate and apart from everybody else, so we get in competition with each other.
Right. Okay.
The 7th one is I'm separate and apart from my higher power, which basically means that we don't ask for help. We don't allow God to just direct us and support us. Mm-hmm. Well, part of the reason we do that is because we think we have to do everything on our own. Like Tamika, I was talking to you earlier about, you have your plan of how it's supposed to look, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't really ask for help. We don't really ask and allow God to just show us how loving she really is towards us. We step in and we do all this stuff on our own.
Mm-hmm. So true.
And so what I've grown to accept is that God's help shows up through other people.
True.
You know, it shows up. I mean, it's not like if God came down from wherever,
Right.
you know, or came from wherever, you would believe that it was him or her anyway.
You're right.
Right? You'd be like, quit tripping.
Right. So true.
But when it shows up as a blessing in your life, to me, that's God.
Right.
God shows up, and it'd be like, you like, this has to be a miracle.
You're so right.
Like, it's got to be a miracle. And it's really just God with, I think she got grace and mercy and love and understanding. And as I was saying to Tamika, I think it's so beautiful because he's always just patient with me.
Right.
That's
so
the
true.
relationship that I've chosen to have with my higher power, is one where he is so patient with me as I'm remembering. Because it's really about remembering just how loving God is towards me and towards you. And towards you. So we're all on our journey. There's no bad anything.
Right.
And the best movie that I have ever seen, I've seen a couple of really great movies and books, but the one that I have seen, and the book is even better than the movie as they typically are, is, have you ever seen the movie The Shack?
The what?
The Shack.
Mm-mm.
By William Paul Young. Oh my God. That's going to be y'all homework. Still there? I think Sanita's frozen. Sanita, you still there?
You're frozen.
Okay, yeah, you were frozen for a minute. Because Tamika and I were still talking.
Oh, really? Okay, sorry.
Okay, so there is a book that was written by William Paul Young. But it's the name of the book is called The Shack. And I don't even really want to tell you what it is, because I really just want you to experience it.
Okay.
But the short version of this, what'd you say?
I'm writing it down.
Yes, like it's on it's either on Netflix or it's on Prime Video. Like you might be able to get it at one of those two places. You may be able to find it on Xfinity, but it's there.
But you said the book is better though.
The movie is outstanding. The movie is outstanding. So to be able to watch it over the weekend, like that's gonna totally, like, I just watched it again. I've read the book maybe 4 times.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Yeah, I've read the book like maybe 4 times. I've seen the movie maybe about 6 or 7.
Oh, nice.
Wow. I don't have to do this weekend besides get my hair braided. So once I do that.
Oh, that's good. That'll be a good book. Yeah, for the 9 hours.
It's basically about this man and his relationship with God. And he had a really tumultuous childhood. And then as an adult, he gets married and has a family. And there's he already kind of had a shaky relationship with God. It was like, it was okay, but it was kind of shaky. You know, he didn't truly buy in. Like he was kind of like with Tamika, like, why is God punishing me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why this, why that, you know, that type of thing. And there's a tragedy in their family that sends him into this experience where he meets God.
Oh, wow. Already.
So Octavia, what's her last name? Octavia.
Oh, the one from The Help?
Yeah, from The Help.
I don't remember her last name, but I know who. I can't remember.
But you all know who I'm talking about. Yeah. So she plays God.
Oh, that movie. Okay.
She plays a part of God.
I mean, everyone was up in uproar because they said, "Oh, it's a female playing God." Yeah. Oh, that's the one. Didn't that come out recently?
No. This has been out for several years.
Oh, then that's not a one. I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead.
So
the new one that came out has that lady from The Help on here.
Yeah, so that's why I thought, okay.
Yeah, no, this came out several years ago. It's been out for maybe about 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
And it's about his journey back to God, his journey back to having a close relationship with Papa.
Okay.
Papa is the name that his wife always gave God. Like, oh, I don't know, I got to talk to Papa about this.
Oh, wow.
You know? And so I sort of adopted it. Like in my private moments, I talk about God as Papa. And the reason is because for me, when I was trying to have this closer walk with my higher power, I wanted to have more intimacy with God, like so that it wasn't like something that was just in a church or, you know, something real formal. I wanted to have like this God is always with me type of relationship. Like he ride or die with me, I'm ride or die with him, you know, like I want to have that.
Right.
And I was working on like my relationship with my dad as well. And I knew that my dad, I always wanted my dad to be kind of like a Cosby dad. My dad was a good dad, but not a Cosby dad. You know? And it really helped me because I was like, you know what? I'm putting all this judgment on my father. Why don't I just let God be the perfect dad? And then let my father be the man that he is, which is flawed, like I am, right? And so I needed a name that was much closer to me. So Papa worked for me. And I think I told you this, but Tamika, I definitely talked about this at the retreat this weekend. I used to do this visualization, a meditation, where I would see Papa in the image that I created for him. And he was African-American. He happened to have locks. And I would see myself walking to him. Sometimes we walk in the woods or by a pond or whatever. But the main thing is that I would crawl up into his lap. Like his child. And he would hold me. And it just really, for me, it really kind of like sealed the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just able to have a much more trust because I believed in God, but I didn't really trust God. And that's really the walk that we're on, is trusting God and trusting the process. And so what I was working on is, how do I have more trust? How do I have more trust? And trusting in God more allowed me to trust myself, because God is in me, as me, through me, around me, for me. Going back to the apple. So it allowed me to trust myself when I was going into difficult situations like a test, Sanit, or changing jobs, Tamika. It's allowed me to have greater faith and trust. Faith being the belief, trust being the action, as I move through that process.
You know, I'm gonna watch that movie this weekend, right?
Yep. And definitely call me, text me, email. Let me know. Once you all watch it, let me know. I can't wait. Like I can't.
I'll read the book first, because you know I read the book The Devil Loves Prada, and when I saw the movie, I loved the book even more. So I just think I like doing that first. I don't know. It makes you fall in love. I don't know. With the
Sure.
But I do see, like, when you look out here on the website, I think it's a lot of books and stuff out here. But then the actual movie is showing the one with Octavia from The Help.
Yeah.
I don't see the older movie.
No, the one with Octavia from The Help. That's the one I'm talking about. It's only one movie.
Maybe it did come out that long ago, but time goes by so fast. We're thinking it's recent. It's maybe
when did it say the movie came out?
It came out. Let's go back. Go back. No. Okay, it looks like 2017.
Oh, it wasn't that long. Wow. I was thinking it was like 7 years ago. Okay, maybe I read the book about 7 years ago.
And then,
yeah. And then the movie came out. The movie is excellent.
Right.
So part of what I wanted to talk about today is, as we've been talking about our feelings, it's a perfect conversation because we're talking about our higher power.
Right.
We've already said that our spirit is directly connected with our higher power. You know, our spirit is eternal, right? Like our higher power. Our higher power talks to us, or our spirit talks to us through our feelings. And there are no bad feelings. Fear is not a bad feeling. It only becomes detrimental when we stay in it.
Okay. I get
You know what I'm saying? When we get stuck in fear, then it has taken over our life, right? Denial is not even a bad practice, except when we stay stuck in denial.
Okay. I get what you're
saying.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I wanted to talk about is what causes us to sort of get stuck or get to this place where we can't move or we're being what we call triggered. So
Tracey,
that's
what happens like once this class ends? How long will we have access to our courses?
You should continue to have access to the courses. Okay. That stays open to you.
Because I still haven't seen the recordings that you have out there. And
they're out there because Trish uploaded them. So now if you're having problem getting in there, you have her email. I'm going to put all of us on an email. Okay. And she should be able to provide some instructions on how to get in there. We are working through our tech, just making sure everything is smooth, but they're there. The recordings are there. We have to put last week and this week's in there, but all the rest of them are in there. And the book is in there.
The book?
Your toolkit. The toolkit. Yeah.
I printed off most of my lessons, which is most of the time while I'm looking at them, I'm writing down on them because I printed them all off.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of reprinting.
So yeah, it should be another tab that talks about the recordings.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a tab that should be talking about the recordings. So, but yeah, you'll keep getting access to these. It's not a problem. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is
triggers, right?
Triggers.
What are triggers?
So I'm gonna start here. And I want to talk about just like when we start to have experiences. Like Tamika, you were talking about at work and the auditors are there and it's feeling stressful. Do you allow yourself to have your feelings, you honor the feelings, or do you suppress your feelings? Or Sanit, when you're going to take the test, you're getting ready to move, again, do you honor how you're feeling in the moment, even if that feeling is things like I'm afraid, I'm feeling uncertain? Do you allow yourself to have that? Or do you try to pretend like it doesn't exist, or I just got to push through it? Or, how do you respond when you're feeling kind of out of sorts? Talking stick in the middle.
Well, I'm picking up a talking stick. Normally when I get the fact that I'm so overwhelmed, and I know it's so bad, I usually be eating. I start eating something because I immediately feel like I'm relieved because I'm eating something. I'm just chewing away the emotion and the pain that I'm feeling, or how mad I am or how anxious I am. So normally is what I usually do. Like today, I had some guacamole. Apparently somebody had a meeting today and they brought Moe's up there. So instead of me then I did get some Lifesavers gummies. So never mind. I had the gummies too. But I normally just eat to relieve it if I'm at work. Yeah. Sometimes I go outside, but I don't like the heat. So I didn't go outside because it was a little warm. But that's usually how I relieve it. I'll sit there and eat something, or I'll just get up and walk around the building, which I did that today too because I needed to get my steps in. So I walked around the building. That's how I sometimes relieve my stress.
I love that. Okay, so the eating is something, so that's a real trigger, and I can understand that. So that's kind of like being a compulsive eater or a closet eater where you're eating to soothe. So of course that has other implications relative to not only weight, but health in general, depending on what you're eating. So that's really important that you even know that about yourself. I too know that when I get stressed, like I need crunchy, salty, some chips, I need that. But again, it's so important to know that because what is happening is you're getting triggered. you're getting triggered, and you need to know what is triggering you. Okay. And so I'm going to talk about that in a second. Sneed, what do you do?
I think I suppress it because I'll have little outbursts, like I'll think about it and then I'll be like, okay, it's fine. I'll have options or ways I'll go about it, but then I'll have little outbursts when I think about it again. I'll get mad over something little that I normally would be like, oh, then I'll have outbursts. So I think I suppress mine.
You think you suppress? So you're saying you suppress, and then what happens is you get triggered over the smallest things that wouldn't typically bother you. You then get triggered by. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Or like if my son does something,
yeah,
and if I think about that moment, and he'll do something that really annoys me, like normally annoys me, but I'm like, no, but I'll just like really be like, no, like really. Right. So then I know that's what I'm doing. I'm suppressing it. Yep. So, because it'll come out in an outburst.
In an outburst. I got you. So one of the things I want to encourage you to do is to understand, one, what are the things that do trigger you and the feelings behind them. And then the second thing, so we're going to talk about that in a minute, but I want to give you sort of the rule of thumb as it relates to honoring your feelings. So when something is happening to you, the first step is to honor yourself, like acknowledge it. You got to acknowledge that it's even there. I'm afraid of this, or I'm concerned about this, or I felt disrespected about that, whatever it is. So you're taking ownership. And then you want to allow your humanness to have her moment. That's what's happening, is the humanness is getting triggered. Okay. So you got to let her have her moment by not like you were talking about outbursts.
Right.
You want to let her have her way in a healthy way. Okay.
Right.
In a healthy fashion. So we use something called the 6-24 rule.
Oh yeah, wait 6 hours to 24 hours before reacting.
6 seconds or 24 hours. So the 6-24 rule is your brain, you have 6 seconds to decide how you're going to respond to something. If you're going to have an outburst, or if you are able to let it go. But basically the brain is processing so quickly, you have about 6 seconds
to
sort of decide in that moment how you're going to manage yourself.
Right.
And part of that is deciding whether or not it's something that warrants more attention. Like if it's something that's really intense, let's say there's been a death, that's a good example, or something really made you angry. You can allow yourself 24 hours to process through that. And in that processing through it, you can vent, you can rant, you can, in a healthy way, and I'm gonna talk about healthy in a minute, but you can vent, you can rant, you can go into yourself, you can silo, you can do whatever, in a healthy way for 24 hours, you can do that.
Okay. I needed that last night.
So it's kind of like you step away and I give Lacey like, yep, you should be pissed off. Like I'll be acknowledging her like, yep, you should be pissed off. Yep, yeah, I totally agree with you. Talk to your girlfriends, scream in the pillow, write in your journal, scream at the top of your lungs, give her the space. And I tell people, even in arguments and things, see, you can't get to the rational mind until the feelings have been allowed to happen.
Oh, okay.
Because even though, when you're angry with somebody and you know that you want to get to a solution too, but until you feel heard, see, most people just want to be heard. They just want to be acknowledged. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
So it's the same with your Lacey, with your humanness. She just wants to be heard. So she's trying to get you to, hello, we feeling pissed off here.
Right.
We feel subjugated. We feel minimized.
Right.
Hello. So you have to acknowledge her. Okay. Now, if it's not, so give yourself 24 hours to do that.
Okay.
If you need 24. Other than that, your 6 seconds, you can process. There are some things that you can process through just that quick. You're like you said with your son, you were like, he'll do some stuff that's annoying, and you'd be like, I'm not even gonna deal with it. Ooh, I'm on to the next.
Right.
You process through it. I know this is annoying. There he is. He's doing it. I know it's annoying. Yep, it's annoying, but I'm not even gonna go there. 6 seconds, you're done. Okay.
Right.
So you got to know where you are and how you kind of move. You also have to know what those triggers actually mean. Now, once you have allowed her to cry, rant, rave, whatever, or even if you've processed through something in 6 seconds, now you can start to get to the point of reasoning, because she's had her say, you've acknowledged her. So she's had her say, so now your reasonable mind can come back into play, and you can start to get to a solution. And that's true even with like your husband, your boyfriend, your, parents, whatever.
Right.
Now you can start to get to a solution. So now you can start to where you can speak your truth. For starters, if it's with somebody, like speaking your truth, because that's another part of sometimes your humanness, she feels like she's not heard. You know what I'm saying? Or like, this some bullshit. This some bullshit right here. So it needs to be said. So, but now you can say it in a way that is not crazy.
Right.
Where people think you just off your hinges. You know what I'm saying? You can say it in a way like, this is where I stand on this matter. Kind of like last week where Tamika was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I've done my part. She was feeling stressed, but she had already kind of moved through the emotional part of it. And she was like, I don't know what to tell you. This is where I stand on this. Okay. And people can feel that when you are resolute.
Right.
They can feel that. Okay. So now you've spoken your truth. Now you can get to solutions. So now it's like, okay, here's what I can give. What is it that you need? And then if there are places where you need to make an amends, you can do that. An amends is just an apology if that is warranted, because sometimes we have ownership or responsibility in creating the situation. Right. So if we need to make an amends as a part of getting to the solution, we can do that. Okay. So what am I trying to say here? You do not want to ignore your feelings is what I'm really trying to say. Because your feelings are your GPS system. They are telling you where you have pain points. Right. Everybody has pain points. Your pain points are in layers. A lot of these pain points will have to be worked through almost for a lifetime. Not all of them, but a lot of them have to be worked through because it's layers of them. So if you felt insignificant as a child, yes, you can learn to love yourself and feel more significant, but I want you to think about your life from the perspective of 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, on up to 12th grade. When you get to 12th grade, you're going to transition out of this body. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like when you get to 12th grade, you've completed your cycle here in this lifetime. So look at yourself as like right now, let's just say that you're in 3rd grade. Okay. And so what you're learning about yourself, that your awareness of yourself is at 3rd grade level. So your awareness of your triggers is at like a 3rd grade level. I'm just making up a number. You can pick any number you want, any grade you want. But I'm just saying that if your awareness, you're just now becoming aware of what your triggers are. Once you've learned, okay, well, these certain things trigger me, and you've learned how to manage yourself at 3rd grade, now you graduate and you go to what? 4th grade. So now you got to learn how to manage your triggers at a 4th grader level.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like you learned how to add, but then they sent your behind on over to second grade, and then you had to learn how to subtract, and then multiply, and then divide, and it just kept going on and on and on. Okay, that's what's happening with your life. So you have these lessons that you're supposed to learn, and it's gradually at different grade levels. And the triggers are just a part of the lesson. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. Okay, so triggering layers of old wounds. So layers develop when we ignore our feelings. We hide the truth until something or someone pokes at that wound. Because a lot of times we're ignoring it. So, but then when somebody pokes at it, you got a sore spot on you, you like, what? You know, it's like hitting a nerve, right? And then it says we act out emotionally because of unprocessed pain that needs to be released. Now, here is the activity. And I know it's getting close to time. I want you to look at this list. Let me move this over a little. Perfect. Okay. Everybody can see the list, right? So I want you to just read through the list, and I want you to find the one trigger. There might be several on here, but what is the biggest negative trigger for you? Because triggers can be positive or negative. So you could have positive triggers that make you feel happy. But right now we're dealing with some of the more painful, angering triggers or fear-based triggers. Okay. So read through the list and then let me know which one is the most pervasive for you. Like it just sends you off the spindle, or it just makes you cringe. Like which one stands out to you?
You have two?
I know everybody's like, can I have more than one? There are several on here, but I want to know the one that really, and it's difficult to sometimes figure it, pinpoint it, because I'm reading through the list myself.
I don't know. But I was frustrated, a trigger. Sometimes you feel frustrated, but isn't it the trigger that makes you frustrated?
It could. It could. Yes. You're saying that the frustration could be the outcome of the trigger.
Right.
But for some people, just being in frustrating situations, like it could be just like the impatience of whatever.
Okay, so that's
triggering to you.
You answered it for me. Okay. You wanted me to tell you what it was? Oh,
yeah. I want to know from each of you which one stands out to you the most, because I have about 5 of them on here that are very confronting for me, but I picked one.
I would say frustrated.
Frustrated. Okay. And what about frustration?
Like when it happens, right? I don't know. Like I react to it like immediately. When sometimes I shouldn't react really immediately. I shouldn't wait. I think
so. Like you're in some kind of experience and it's triggering you to be frustrated. So then that's causing you to then react like this.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Exactly. Exactly that.
And go a little deeper with that too. So the frustration is also is a feeling of what underneath that frustration?
Oh man, I don't know, like why now? Like why now? Or
I'm gonna go back to the feeling wheel, see if I can help you.
it's more like mad. Like why now? Like
because frustration tends to be related to anger.
Right.
But if there's anything else that stands out to you, like you said, why now? So do
Right.
you think is that also a feeling of feeling not in control of your life, or?
It could be that it's something that could have been in control, but you know, you just like, oh, whatever. So then it comes back to bite you kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I do that a lot with a lot of stuff.
Where maybe
Like,
you procrastinated, or?
okay, like for example, right, just like this happened today, right? Don't laugh at me. So I normally do this because I know there's a way. Like you can charge up your credit card and then don't pay it and they'll charge it off. So I've been doing that since young, right? So now I don't know what it is now that I have money. Now these people want your money. I don't know how they know you got money. So now they served me like last year when I lived with my brother. So I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And I left it alone. So now I try to garnish this little part-time gig I had, but I left it because I always get part-time gigs when I want to get extra money to do something, whether to go away or to shop or something, right? But I had left a job by the time they want to garnish. So now they saying they're going to garnish my son's child support checks. So I got so frustrated, like, how dare they? So that just made me so angry just now, just learning about it. Then I don't know what my son asked me. And I was like, I could have just said no, like I normally be like, no. Then I was just like, no, like a crazy person. So that's an example.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just a story, right?
No, because I'm actually trying to think of
It's a lot, because I swear I do this all the time.
I want to come back to that because there's an emotion under there, and I want to get to that. There's a feeling. Okay, what do you think, Tamika?
Yeah, I had so many on here.
I
guess if I had to pick just one, and I think these are one and the same: unheard and ignored.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm guessing I'm using them one and the same, but I guess if I had to pick one, I think that I would have to go with unheard. And I guess my example is I can tell my husband stuff all the time. I swear he's not listening to me. I swear he thinks I'm just a broken record because I talk about the same. I'm like, hey, I need this, you know, and he was like, well, okay. But I'm like, you do the same thing again 2 weeks later. You're not listening. So I just feel like I'm unheard. I think people take my kindness for weakness because I'm really laid back. I don't really say anything. I'm pretty easygoing. You know, I'm okay, well, I'll try this. We'll see. You know, and I just need to, and he gets mad because he said I don't stand up for myself. So that's why I say it's a lot. But I'm like, I can't stand up myself. You doing the same thing everybody else doing.
Right. Well, you know what the common denominator there is, right?
Me.
So what do you need to do to, so what do you need to do is, it's not so much about them hearing you as it is around you deciding what you're going to do and let that be it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you decide what it is you're going to do, you know, it's sort of like circumventing, because a lot of times we're trying to wait for other people. Like I really need, how can you get to what it is you need without, you know, you just state what you're going to do, what you're in control of, you know, and then do that. If you continue to feel like you're not heard by the person, then that warrants a conversation. So what does you said you feel like they're taking your kindness for weakness, meaning, is that meaning that they take advantage of you?
I think when there are times I'm pretty easygoing. If you say you want to, let's go do so-and-so, And so if I say I want to go eat Mexican or something, I'm like, no, I don't want Mexican. Let's go eat Italian. Okay, that's fine. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to eat. I'm not going to miss a meal. So wherever you go, I'm going to find something. So I'm not going to make a big deal about you don't want to go eat Mexican. Now when I do make my mind up and say, hey, I went to Chef Lee's yesterday. I really want egg dry soup from Chef Lee's. So I went. And I said, anybody want to go? No. Okay. I got in my car and I went to Chef Lee's because that's what I wanted. But most of the time, I'm pretty laid back, easy going. And you watch something, I don't know. You know what? Wherever you go, I decide. But you got to make a decision. No, I don't. You tell me what you want to eat. And if I don't want to go, I'm not going.
But are you saying that when you do ask for something that you really expect for it to be done because you don't ask that much? Is that where you were going with it before? Because you said you feel like he was doing the same thing that everybody else does.
Yeah, a lot of times with him, you know, he says he's easygoing, which he can be. I feel like I don't ask much of a lot of people. I usually just do it myself first. So sometimes when I do ask, I think that should be like, oh, she's asking for something. She normally doesn't ask me to do anything. So then I'd be like, okay, well, I don't ask much of nobody. At least you could do is listen to me when I'm asking, you know, which is probably selfish, but.
No, it's not selfish, but this is something that I sort of do, and I think it's kind of in alignment. It's sort of like, because I have one client where I'm like, I don't really ask for that much because I run a program for them. And it's like, I run the program seamlessly. And I really don't ask for much. I mean, I just run it. So when I do ask for something, it actually irritates me that if they question me or if they're slow about getting it to me, because I'm like, well, I don't ask for that much. And then here you are, you know, to me, they should just be just jumping at it. You know what I'm saying? Or just open to doing it because I don't really ask for that much. But what I'm learning is that's not really the way that people operate. And it's really my responsibility at all times to make people aware of what my voice is, of what it is that I need. It's like, ask for what you need at all times. Know what you need and ask for what you need at all times. You don't have to. I think sometimes what I'm doing is a quid pro quo, and that may not be you, but the quid pro quo is sort of like, okay, I won't ask for that much, but when I do, I expect for you to give it to me, or I expect for you to listen. You know what I'm saying? So kind of the quid pro quo, like I ain't gonna ask for that much, but when I do, I expect to get. When the truth is, it's almost like bartering or you know what I'm saying? Trying to negotiate when I don't really need to do that. I just need to state what it is that I need at all times. Now, going back to your example, if you don't care about the restaurant, like you said, you'll just say, I don't really care what we eat this evening.
Right.
That's fine. But in the areas where you feel like you're really not heard, it really is your responsibility to make sure that you're stating very clearly where you stand on things and asking for what it is that you need.
Okay.
And asking for what you need. And if and when that doesn't happen, then you need to make sure that you communicate how that has made you feel to them and what you're willing to do or not willing to do going forward. This is a part of taking back your power, you know? We shouldn't assume that people will respond or know what we want or mind read, or that they feel the same sense of urgency,
Right.
You know, that we feel, or the same sense of responsibility or ownership, or, you know, we shouldn't assume that because it doesn't work that way because they're looking through their own lens. They are looking through their own lens. So for me, I would pick controlled. I do not like, I mean, there are a couple on here, like today I got triggered about feeling judged. But I would say historically it has been the feeling of being controlled. I like to be free, you know, and which is why I'm a consultant. You know, I love the freedom of forging my own path. I can take whatever clients I want or do not want.
Right.
You know, and to be honest with you, I mean, I have many reasons for forging a closer relationship with my higher power. But one of the main drivers is I want to be free to be who I am. So I figure maybe this is quid pro quo because I am a negotiator. I really am. But I figure if I have a closer relationship with God, like I'm just going to always be taken care of. So I really am being in control of my life by having a relationship with my higher power who always provides for me. So now the control comes inward. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to believe that the control is outside of me. It's not tied to any one contract, any one client, any man, my parents. It's not tied to any of that. It's now my safety, my security, my sense of love is now coming more and more and more inward. So I'm getting all of that because I don't like to feel like something else is controlling me. I like to be free. Yeah. So that's mine. So I just kind of wanted to, we did the rest of this because we did the power of the spoken word. I mean, not the power of the spoken word, the mirror work last week. So what I want to do next week is our last session. Boo.
I know. It went by so fast.
I know, girl. I be telling people, like, it has literally been 40 days, if you can believe that.
Right.
It has been 40 days. So I want to stop sharing this. So what I want us to do, I want to send you guys, this is in the booklet, but I'm going to just send you this document that talks about creating your values. This is the solid ground on which you have to stand. Okay. And it's a nice follow-up to what we've talked about today. And so I'll send it over via email this evening. And what you're going to do is read the instructions. It's very clear. It's just 3 steps. The first thing you're going to do is there's a list of probably about 100 words, values. And you are going to select 25 of them. Okay. So that's the first thing is you're going to select 25 values. Then what you're going to do is after you select the 25, you're going to narrow it down to 5. That's going to give you your core values. Because, you know, values are belief systems. They are beliefs. And so there are many things that we believe, but fundamentally, there's a small group of things that we hold as completely true for ourselves. Right. And that we're basically saying this is what we're going to govern ourselves by. Right? Yeah. So you're going to come up with your core beliefs. And then the last step of it is to begin to define a code of conduct that you will employ to ensure that you're living by those beliefs. So what do I mean there? Like, I only have 2 values now. I used to have 5. You know, I used to have 6 actually. But I've been able to, over the years, I've been doing this so much that I've been able to get my values down to just 2, which is love and serve. And then I have a code of conduct, which I call, the other word for code of conduct is your standards. What standards do you live by? Okay. So standards basically, standards are basically how you embody those values. So when I think about how I embody love, like honesty and being in integrity is one of the ways that I embody love. Because to me, to demonstrate love, I got to be honest with myself and honest with other people. That's a practice of love. Hi, how are you? Good.
Is this somebody you know or like no?
Did I miss something? I didn't get the text. No, okay. All right. Okay. So the standards are basically, you know, how you operate from that. So telling the truth, being honest, like that is a practice of love for me. I mean, sorry. Telling the truth is a practice of love because If I'm lying to myself, I'm clearly not loving myself.
Right. Okay.
If I'm lying to other people, I'm not loving myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a practice for me. That's my part of my code of conduct, you know. Trusting myself and my higher power, that's a practice of love for me. So that's a part of my code of conduct, you know. So, you know, so I've got a few things. Respect, respecting who I am. Like, this is what you got. Right. Respecting other people. This is what you got. So respecting other people and the differences, that is an act of love. So that's a code of conduct for me. So now when it comes time for me to make decisions around things, I don't have to be in a quandary about which direction to go in terms of my decision making, because I look to my value system and then how I operate to guide me in everything. So now, whether it's being in relationships with people or being at a certain job, you can look and see like, oh, well, does this measure up to my values? Is this within my standards? No? Okay, I probably shouldn't be here then.
Makes sense.
So now your decision making is very simple. Well, it's not, it's simple, it's just not always easy. Right. So, but at any rate, so that's kind of what it is. Any questions on that?
No.
So, do we have to end next week?
So one of the things that you all do have the option of is I do have the Advanced Masters group. Mm-hmm. It's month to month. It's $99. We meet once a month. You get not only do you get that monthly meeting with some of the other women, you also get access to all of our courses in the back office. So I have other trainings that are back there. You get discounts off of one-on-one coaching if you want that. You get coaching in your inbox every single Monday. You get something called coaching in your inbox, which is something from me. So it kicks off your week, jumpstarts your week. So there's a variety of things that come with that. And a lot of the women have stayed in the Advanced Masters. They put themselves in Advanced Masters because it's sort of like an accountability system. And so in that group, we do all kind of things. A lot of times we do meet face-to-face. That's one of the things you don't get with this, but we do meet face-to-face. Not all the time. We meet face-to-face some of the time. We'll have dinner together. So it's a much more, we're just getting closer and closer and closer. We also, like right now, we've been doing a 40-day abundance journey. So we're reading this book, and then we're doing an abundance challenge where we're challenging ourselves around prosperity. So that's one of the things. So it's because everybody now has the foundation.
Right.
So now we're building on top of that foundation. So we spent a lot of time talking about relationships. We spent about 3 months. We talked about relationships. Everything was about relationships. Now everybody got a boo.
I thought you meant all kinds of relationships, but okay.
Yeah, intimate relationships. And so we were working through the barriers around that. And so now we're working on money and what our relationship with money is.
Wait, so you're a matchmaker? That's how everybody got a boo, or they just?
I am not a matchmaker. Spirit.
So how come everybody seem to get a boo all at the same? Like, I don't know. Just
people's consciousness shifts and they open themselves up. So we started dealing with some of the belief systems. See, now get out of your own way. What it does is help clear out the gunk so we can start dealing with the other stuff. See, I had to give you language. I had to help you challenge your beliefs. Like Tamika, some of the things I was telling you today and Sunit the other day, like challenging your belief systems. And then now that you kind of have that basis, now we can get to the for real work, like going deeper around whether it's health or intimacy, money, career. I have 2 people who get ready to start businesses. Actually, I have 4 people who are starting businesses. Yeah. So, and it's not me, it's really like they have garnered their own permission to step into their life, whatever way that is.
Right. Okay.
So yeah. So that is definitely there for you. And I would love to have you. I would love to have you there. So, because I know for sure, like, we can't do this alone. And you all serve as accountability partners for me as much as I do for you, you know?
Right.
And it just expands your network of women who are on this same path, because now that you're doing this, you'll start to look at other people and you'll be like, my thinking is just a little different. You know, I see that differently now. You know, I don't feel the same way now about that.
Right.
So this is just a group of people who are thinking more in alignment with the direction that you're going in. So that's it. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
For real, for real.
So this other lady, what was her name? The other one that said she was coming in, but she was running late.
Oh, Karen. You talking about Karen?
She showed up though.
Huh?
Did she show up?
Yeah, no. Karen is she got sick, and so she'll probably just roll into the next group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have some kind of crisis, because I run Get Out of Your Own Way about every 50 days.
Really?
50?
So I run it for 40 days, and then I take a little break, and then I kick it up again. So the next one is at the end of October.
People take it again, or it's just one time and they get the.
You can take it as many times as you want, but for her, since she was only on one session, she can jump into the next group.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
She can jump into the next group. And you know, we went to the sorority meeting, so I had people signing up from there. Yeah. Yeah, so it's good. I've just seen so many people like completely transform what they're doing, you know, their life and how they see life.
Right.
So it tells me we're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
We're on the right track.
Do you actually have the office is located in Atlanta?
I do have an office space, but I'm not typically in it because most of the coaching that I do is virtual.
Okay.
So,
wait, Tamika, I thought you were in Georgia. Why you always say Atlanta? Where are you?
I'm in Columbus.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
down in Columbus, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in Georgia. I'm in Columbus. I'm an hour, about 15 minutes away from Atlanta, or depends on how far in Atlanta I'm going.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, okay. I get
What part of Atlanta do you stay in?
Duluth.
Okay. See, my best friend's in Alpharetta. She's way up there.
Yeah, she way up there, Duluth, Alpharetta.
I'm not way up there, Tracy.
Way up there. I'm downtown.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm downtown.
Excuse me, downtown.
So are you close by Slutty Vegan then?
I'm not too far from Slutty Vegan. I'm probably about 12 minutes from Slutty.
That's it? Oh.
12 minutes west.
Must be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
gonna try that burger you're talking about. I'm really gonna try Slutty Vegan. I'm serious.
So it's addictive. I don't know. I swear she put some in that sauce, but I don't know. I swear.
I told you I want you to try the Grindhouse burger and see if you like it.
You did say that, and I put that in my old phone. I'm gonna try it with my son because he loves burgers. Grindhouse. You did say that.
Grindhouse burger.
How old is your son, Sneak?
10, a handful. It's just too much. He's a jokester. So what happens is when I'm weird, he's a jokester, right? When he plays, I'm not in the mood. And when I'm like, hey, he's not in the mood. So we're always like, you're playing too much. You leave me alone. It's like, it's just weird. I don't know. We're like, people always say you're like brothers and sisters or husband and wife. But, you know, I just give him a voice because I grew up, Haitians don't really play with their kids. And you didn't have a voice. So I'm letting him have a voice. But, ooh, child, you give them an inch, they take a, yard. So that's where I'm at with him. I'm trying to let him be, I'm trying not to limit him, but it's like some things he does, I'm so used to what grown up, like, you can't say that to adults, or you can't ask these kind of questions. But who's to say? I don't want to, I want him to express his feelings, so I'm not trying to limit him in a sense. But I just think he goes overboard a little bit. So, yeah. And he thinks I'm his friend, which I do play with him, but I'm not his friend. He doesn't get it, but I don't know. I will work on that. But yeah.
She's like, we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I have thoroughly enjoyed our series together.
It's been fun.
This is not what I was expecting, but I like how it came out. So I just thought it was gonna be more like serious or rigid. I don't know, like so I don't know, I can't get the word, but you know what I mean, like so like I'll be right. You know, I just thought it was something else, but it was not. I like the experience overall.
If this had been, if I had started coaching 15 years ago, it would have been like that.
Oh.
And very hard, probably. I wouldn't.
Right.
But now, who I am,
right,
doesn't fit with that. Like tomorrow, I got to get up and go train, and you know, one of my clients, I think they keep me on because you know my evaluations are really strong. But I just don't train the way other people do anymore. You know, I don't train like that. Like I have to go with what I like, the way the spirit is moving me.
Right.
You know, and it sounds weird because I used to think people were like crazy for saying that.
Right.
You know, sometimes they want me to get through every PowerPoint slide. I'm like, I'm not concerned with getting through every PowerPoint slide. I'm concerned with people making the shift. Like today, we didn't do an opening. I'm very well aware that we didn't do an opening. And the rigid side of me is like, oh no, we got to go back. We got to do the opening. We got to do that.
Right.
But it was fine because we had the conversation about spirit and higher power and how that tied in. And that took us right into the triggers. And it all worked itself out.
Yeah.
And you got what I felt like you needed to get today. Huh?
I just like the flow. I didn't know what to expect as well. So I was like, okay. I was like, how many people are going to be in there? Because I was concerned about how many people, you know, was going to be in the group. And he was like, no, I don't like them big. I like them small because it gives you a chance to be close and be intimate and you can just talk. Yep, and I like the setup because it was not a lot of people. Yeah. And it's like we all are close, you know. I feel like I can't wait to talk to them every week.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I'm trying to get there.
And that's
they didn't the message. I'm not going to be there. Oh, no.
I know. That's what I said. I was like, oh.
So, I mean, it's just, you know, and I don't want it to end because I feel like I can talk to y'all about anything and there's no judgment.
That's right.
And, like everybody's here to help. And hey, this is my opinion. That's how you have to do it. But, and you know, I'm like, dog, I didn't see it this way. Yeah. So it's like, I don't want to end this way because this relationship is strong. Yeah. And I like the fact that women can just get along and talk and they're not judging you. They're really trying to help you.
For sure.
That makes a difference.
For sure. And that's a big compliment. It really is, because that's the vibe that we want for the community. Right. Couple things I continue to say, you know, you guys can continue, we all can continue to stay on our text thread. There's no problem there. And the other thing I'll say is in the advanced masters group. Now imagine being in there, and it's not huge either. Because people, you know, you can kind of come in and out because it's on a month to month. Mm-hmm. But the women in there, they've been doing their work for a while, you know, and so it's even more like people trying to support you, people seeing, you know what I'm saying? Like they're serious about it. Mm-hmm. They're serious about it. So it's good. It's very good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's, you know, we still have, you're never going to end. Like you're always a part of this family. You're never alone again, ever. You're never alone again. And I do agree that, you know, having regular, consistent contact is very, very important because it's so easy to slide back to where you are. And you really want to keep your momentum moving until you can learn how to really fully be in practice and be in momentum.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, being the way I was for so long, for years, and you don't want to go back to that because it's easy to slide back in if you stop doing it. But like for 6 weeks, it's been this way. I've been accountable. I've had to just keep going, pushing forward. I have to look at myself in the mirror. I didn't do the mirror thing again this week, but I said this weekend, since I had an extra day, I'm just going to try to look in the mirror because that's who I need to find. Yeah. Because she's been missing for a long time. She doesn't have her voice anymore. So I need to get back to the voice of me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that was the thing about earlier when you were saying you feel like people don't listen to you. It's not so much about them not listening to you, it's that you haven't listened to you. See, it's always that people are mirroring what they're mirroring you. So when you find that people aren't really paying attention, it's really that you are not in the practice of listening to yourself, acknowledging yourself, speaking your truth. That's why I said you need to say what you're going to say and let that be it. And it's like owning your truth. And then as you do that, you're going to find that people are going to start saying, okay, I hear you. They're going to be more present with you because you're more present with yourself.
Okay. It's just like what they say, what you put out is what you get back, kind of that.
That is exactly that.
Okay.
Yeah, some of those things sound like cliches, but there is spiritual principle underneath that.
I believe that.
Yeah, there's spiritual principle. What you put out is what you get back.
Right. Even somebody wrote Niecy Nash. Like I kept saying, it was a joke, but I'm like, I'm on the brink of homelessness. And, like a joke. And I was writing to one of the collection people. Like I told y'all before, I don't like paying, the credit card and stuff. So I was writing like, I'm broke, because they said give the reason. I was like, I'm broke and I'm on the brink of homelessness. I'm joking, but she was saying, don't even joke like that because your spirit doesn't know what to joke. And I was like, ooh, spirit, I'm not on the brink of homelessness, but it's just even writing and joking, you have to be careful with your words. So
you have to be, because keep in mind, your words have power. There's energy behind them. Because see, it's always your belief. Everything starts with a belief. So it's your belief. Then whatever it is you believe is fueled by your feelings. That's why I teach it the way that I do. Because the feeling is like the fire behind it. So it gives it energy, it gives it momentum, it gives it power. Okay, so belief, then feeling. So now you feeling this, what do you think you're going to do next? You're going to speak it. So then that comes out in your words. Once it comes out in your words, then what's going to happen is you're going to start taking action on that. Or inaction. You start believing, like, let's take your test. If you believe that you can pass or you can't pass, that's going to trigger a feeling of either high vibration or low vibration. Going to the light or going away from the light. Same thing. Then what's going to happen is you're going to start speaking what it is that you believe and feel. I feel bad about this test. I don't really know. Or I feel great about this. I've been really, this is feeling great. I know I can do this. So you're going to start speaking that. Then what will happen is in your actions, you will start studying more. You'll start taking more practice tests. You'll then go and take the test. So then now it's in your actions. So then your actions create your habits.
Right.
The more actions you have, Tamika, around speaking your truth, the more times you speak your truth, then that becomes what? A habit.
Yes.
You develop a habit of speaking your truth. So now that becomes you. Your habits become your character. Remember, I was talking about your values, your standards, becomes your character. This becomes who you are. And as it becomes who you are, that's how your destiny is created.
Makes sense.
So in other words, to me, there's nothing that you should be intentional about everything that you think, everything. See, it's up to you to tell your mind what it is that you think.
Right.
You don't let your mind just think anything.
Okay.
You don't let just anything come out your mouth.
Right.
It's up to you to tell your feelings what to feel. If you start feeling down, ask yourself if that's the feeling. Oh Lord, if that's the feeling that you really want to have, or do you want to raise your vibration of your feeling?
Right. I agree with what you said, because funny thing, right? The written test, it took me the third time to pass. And just what you said, like, I'm going to pass, I started studying. And then when I went in there, I already thought I passed and I didn't even finish the test. And when I got the paper for the results, I passed. So everything you're saying is so true. And it's like, okay, now, like, I just got to keep, I don't know why I resort back or slide back, but then I get back on track. I don't know, girl. It's just
that's you second guessing yourself, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you need to remember the practice: beliefs, feelings, words, actions, habits, character, destiny.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. So, all right.
Okay, sis. I'm gonna see you guys next week.
Yes, you will.
I'll send you the document this evening. You guys work on that, and then we'll come back together, next week and go through that.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Thank you
Good
guys.
night, ladies.
All
All
right.
right.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.